2 internets, 2 marketplaces. Traditional domains you already know. Handshake TLDs you truly own. Buy, sell, stake, all in one place. ShakeStation, the best place for Handshake domains and beyond.
Plus new ways to add.
Hello, how is everyone? My name is Zita Ridgeway. I will be your moderator for this panel. Welcome to HandyCon 2026. We have heard from a couple of these gentlemen in prior sessions, and this is all about censorship and privacy. So I think that this kind of will serve as a roundtable discussion of some of the previous conversations that we've already had, and I can already tell it's going to be a lively panel. We start off with just a round of introductions for anyone who missed any earlier sessions. If you guys could say who you are, who you're working on, who you're working with, what you're working on briefly, and then we'll get into a discussion.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Okay. You want to start, Shane?
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name is Shane. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at VP.net. I work in information security, cybersecurity. I value privacy. I'm looking every day into things such as privacy, censorship being a topic of discussion often within our company. And I'm just happy to be here and see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, next.
All right. Yeah, my name is Alexander Litriev, and I'm a CEO of Sentinel. Same way as Sean, I'm very passionate about privacy and cybersecurity. We care the most about fighting censorship online globally. We've been there for almost a decade, since 2017. Sentinel is a project that allows you to create your own decentralized VPN using decentralized architecture that we are building. We were working with Handshake for a long time, having it integrated into our products. And yeah, happy to be there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And next.
My name is Arjen. I am an open source developer, and I work mainly on Tollgate and other network-related protocols. And Tollgate is a protocol that allows you to buy and resell your internet access using eCash microtransactions. So the idea is that it will break open the ISP market by making everyone an ISP, and it can work on a $3 device.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'd like to know, for each of you and the product that you represent, if you could tell us about use cases, best use case, or maybe the best 2 use cases. I know that VPNs, for instance, is a big topic right now. You have a company that recently brought a lot of VPNs. And so now, people are looking into DPNs and basically talking about the differences between those and why it's important. I think is a good discussion to have. Maybe you can chime in there, Shane.
Yeah, absolutely. I work with VP.net. It's a zero trust architecture VPN, right? It's a VPN. The WireGuard runs in an SGX enclave. So you have a secure, isolated container that's isolated from an operating system. It's needed. If we compare ourselves to other companies, there is no comparison. We're the only one in this space, in this industry, that are doing this, right? The other VPN companies, they had their chance to do this and they chose not to. Our founders are Roger Bear of Bitcoin.com and Andrew Lee of Private Internet Access. So these are pioneers in the crypto spaces, right? So nobody knows privacy better than these guys. And I take pride in learning from every day that I can with these guys. When we're looking at the VPN, it's 2 use cases for these things, right? It's really, I wish I could answer that, because privacy to me is that layer between you and the rest of the world. It's crazy out there. It's absolutely crazy out there. So I would say the first use case is between you and what you want to do. And the second use case is between you and what you want to do. It's none of my business. That's just how it is. And that's the thing is, when we're looking at privacy and stuff, and I often joke with my team and stuff, there is no privacy. But that's the thing is, you can have a layer between you and the things that you work with, right? You want to have a secure data connection from you to wherever it is that you want to, whatever it is you want to access in the world, right? It's the first level of all of this in privacy is having security, right? It's encryption. You need these things. You need the cryptography, the strong cryptography behind these things. And you just can't trust anything. You can't trust anybody. So the difference between the other VPN companies is they say they don't log. They say their audits are good. it's all just smokescreens, right? They don't log, but they will look at the data live as the data stream comes in. So they'll get an abuse complaint. You can be anybody in the world, right? You can say, hey, this IP address here is abusing this stuff because it connected to my website. Just because it connected, it counts as abuse report. They will go look and see who is accessing this or access this at this time just by looking at it live. So you're not logging the data, they're looking at it live. So technically they got you on a technicality, right? They admit to doing this. Like we have a blog article out there written a couple months ago, and it's not something new that they've done. They've admitted to this 6 years ago, Proton did. So we have a technology that not even we can look at. We take the zero trust aspect of technology and the way it's moving, we take it very seriously, because who can you trust and what can you trust? And I think the answer to that is just take trust out of the equation. Like, you don't have to trust anything. You can just accept that this is the technology, what it is. You can verify that what it is and what it says it's doing is actually what it is and what it says it's doing. And I think it's been amazing actually working with all of this.
Okay, wonderful. Arjun?
Yeah, I think a good bridge there is like not knowing about your customers. In Tollgate, we use eCash, the Cashew eCash protocol, that if you have eCash tokens, they are private. They have very strong privacy guarantees, because the mint that gives you those tokens cannot see when you give it to someone else and they redeem it. Like, they cannot connect the two together. So we use that in the payments that we do from either person to a Wi-Fi, a Tollgate enabled router, or Tollgates amongst each other, right? We want to build this whole network with these micropayments. So for one, you get strong privacy guarantees because you use these guarantees that Cashew gives us. And secondly, it removes the need for KYCing, because there has been a very legitimate use for KYC in the past, right? You need to be able to invoice someone for the service that you're giving, which with ISPs is a monthly bill and you need to send it somewhere. With this, we remove the need for that, and it's not in itself giving you privacy, but it's at least one of the prerequisites for more privacy.
Okay, a quick question before we move on. Early on, people touted that the blockchain would provide privacy because it's attached to an address and not your personal data, and it's all on the ledger and all of that. However, now people talk about the fact that actually, if someone knows your wallet address, that they can actually track everything. And so it actually is the opposite of privacy, because it's all on a ledger. So does your protocol and what you're doing, I see what you're saying, it helps with that problem. What would you say to that?
Not sure I got the entire question. Can you?
So with regard to everything being trackable on the blockchain and tied to your wallet address, and then so if someone knows your wallet address, they can track everything that you're doing and everyone that you're sending and everything that's coming in. And the way that you describe Tollgate, it seems like that mitigates that problem. And I'm saying, do I have that right? Is that right?
Somewhat. By using eCash, you did several layers removed from the main chain Bitcoin. You don't have all of those issues. Of course, you still have issues where timing attacks are keeping track of time and logging. That's not something it necessarily protects from.
Okay, got it. All right, Alexandra and Pralisa, how do I say your name?
Absolutely, yeah. We value privacy the same way as we value importance of fighting against censorship, and that's our main focus as of now. Sentinel is a decentralized VPN which offers developers of VPN applications access to decentralized network of 1,000 servers worldwide, which are managed by community, which makes it impossible for the governments to go after the VPN company and require them to shut down their services in certain countries or go after certain sub-networks of VPN provider and them. For example, in Russia, there is a NordVPN and ProtonVPN. Their servers are effectively getting blocked because they have their own IP ranges, their own subnets that belongs to them, and government authorities simply put those in a block list for all the citizens of the country. And the Sentinel is able to operate under the pressure where application is created by a developer who does not operate nodes himself, separating these responsibilities and making censorship circumvention more effective. We're also creating our own platform since we've been there since 2017, and we made a hell of a good network of VPN infrastructure, we also started focusing on AI sphere, where we raised the question of potential data poisoning and bias during the training of LLM models. Using the same infrastructure that we've built so far, we created a tool called Sentinel Scout, which is doing decentralized data scraping for AI large language model training, which ensures that data is collected safely through decentralized means, and there is no single entity that could have poisoned the data or manipulated it in any way. So the AI is biased towards one or another topic. So that's what we're working on as of now. We distribute our own applications built on Sentinel as a demo of what we have built so far. And we also work with the developers worldwide, multiple teams will develop their own VPN applications using our stack under the hood.
Okay, awesome. For regular folks and normies concerned about some of this, we were having backstage before coming live, we were having a discussion about flock cameras and other things. And basically we're having a discussion about how do we, as a community, as a world community, how do we resist needs to be done? What systems do we need to implement? How do we need to behave to be able to protect ourselves from, I don't know where that's coming from, but that are collecting our and surveilling us everywhere on the streets, in our neighborhoods with ring cameras and all of that. What can we do?
I think removing our dependence on middlemen everywhere we can, in every single, the smallest things. And there's a lot of things we don't realize where there's middlemen, where there actually are. And that's the ways I think we can free ourselves.
So basically divorcing ourselves from these legacy systems and using some of the tools that you all are developing, basically, I would suppose. Shane.
And we need a lot more of them.
Shane, you have some thoughts on this?
Can you ask the question again? I want to make sure I give you the right answer.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, how do we basically divest from these legacy systems? What can we do as a world community together to protect ourselves?
I think the first thing people should do is be aware, right? And have a full understanding of what's going on so that you can come into that with the truth, right? You know exactly what's going on, but you have all the facts. So you already have the answers before the waves of bullshit get thrown at you, right? So when it comes to things like Flock and the level of surveillance and what's going on in the digital world, obviously, like they're collecting data on everybody to sell us ads and everything. It's no secret, right? But out there in the real world, when you travel out there, there's cameras everywhere. Block, there's Axon, there's all these different things. If it's not one, it's the other. We can be aware of these things. We had a gentleman that came on the VP.net. His name is Jonathan, and he's been with us for a while now. He was in Bend, Oregon, and he was able to get Block out of his jurisdiction, right? He was able to come into this not having any political experience, not really knowing what to do, and he gave us the idea of what it takes to handle these things, right? You have to get 1,000 signatures. How hard is that to get 1,000 signatures? It's actually hard. So you have to get your representatives of people that represent you to hear you, right? If you don't have people with a voice coming at them, they're just going to ignore it, right? They're probably going to get paid by these companies and stuff, and they go do what they want to do anyways because they got paid. So I think the first level is understanding what's actually going on. And then the second thing is having a voice. I think is the most important thing, right? And they want to suppress that. They don't want you to be heard. And it's whether it's censorship or if it's just pressure to not rally against these things, right? They can threaten you with legal things. So we had a gentleman come on, the chief legal officer of Flock.com. I like what you said, no middlemen. And I agree with that. I don't want to talk to middlemen. I want to hear exactly what's going on from them and what's their justification for these things. To be aware of these things is to see where they're coming from and why they want these things, right? They say this catches bad people. It allows them to investigate things and not have to put in the amount of police work that they had to do before. So when we say systems and stuff, their systems out there are so complex that if I tried to understand it all, I would be crazy. The only system that works for me is I'm not about that bullshit, and I hope other people aren't either, right? So to hear what they had to say is, and I asked the question, are these things actually working? Does the surveillance actually help you catch the wicked people in this world, like the evil people? And they said yes, but I've still yet to this day even asking them to come on the show, have yet to see any proof of how surveillance is actually helping in our communities. So I think that's really the only thing that needs to be understood is like you need to understand that surveillance is not the way. Violating our privacy, oppressing us is as insulting as it is, but it's unacceptable. I think people just need to see that and just go talk to the people that represent you.
Okay, awesome. The reason why I brought that up, flock cameras in general, is because most of what we talk about when we talk about decentralization and we talk about ownership and all that, we talk about it in a business sense. However, I do believe that in order for any of that to grow, that we have to get more adoption by regular folks. And some of these subjects that they can relate to, like flock cameras or whatever, I think can be like a gateway to introduce them to other things that they didn't even know that they needed to be concerned about, or in terms of the privacy and the names and blockchain and all of that. And so I'm interested to know, with regard to that and Web3 in general and the whole ethos behind Web3. And right now, again, with the political climate and even AI, and even people concerned about AI popping up on their computers automatically through Microsoft or Apple and on your phone, and people using your data, and even Gmail using your data to train their models without your consent, without your knowledge, and going through everything. Like, how do we protect ourselves against that? And again, we talked about just not participating and divorcing ourselves from legacy systems. So how do we then transition from that to getting people to adopt some of the tools that you all are developing, and what can we do as a community, starting here with Handshake and then the extended Web3 community, to help foster that along? Any thoughts on that?
I can sum it up in one line, right? It's from the Cypherpunk Manifesto. Cypherpunks write code, and I think that's the gentleman here as well, right? Cypherpunks write code. You write the code and you just run with it and you have fun with it, put your passion into it, and other people are going to see that it's cool. They're going to be a part of that, and just write code. That's it. The Cypherpunks write code. That's all that's needed.
I think besides the digital, I think the physical spaces matter a lot. It's go to the meetups from Bitcoin or crypto communities, buy stuff from each other with whatever your preferred payment method is that is not centralized. Do these things. I bought soap from someone paying in Bitcoin, and I know it's from a person that cares about the thing. I can go directly to the person that makes it. I know they care about it, and I think that's how we cut out middlemen as well.
Yeah, I also wanted to double down on that. It's a very good point. And you can start from your immediate surroundings, people who are around you, your own family and friends, for example, and start from very basic things, the ways how you communicate with each other. We, like most of people, talking to each other using like iMessage or WhatsApp. There is nothing stopping you from going to each and one of your friends or family members and telling them, hey, there is a decentralized messenger that is built on blockchain. It is way better than WhatsApp. Let's try this one. And your wife installs it, then your kids installs it, your grandma, your parents, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a group of people who are all communicating in the decentralized decentralized messenger, essentially. And the same applies to other fields. If, let's say, with the payments, it's a very good point. With my friend, we went to the conference and I bought him pizza with my own card, and he sent me back his portion of the money, essentially using blockchain by decentralized means of payment. And it is about personal choices. You can ask people to use certain tools to communicate with you, and they will, surprisingly. Yeah, also very important to try not compromising on things and insist on using certain technologies. For example, for global outreach and presence in social media, no one's forcing you to use Instagram. No one forcing you to use Facebook and stuff like that. You can use decentralized social media as well. And they work just as fine as centralized ones, but without a person up there to decide what you should and shouldn't post. Yeah, it's about personal choices, first of all, and then what you suggest to for example, my father, he has no idea of technologies and he will use whatever I install on his device. So there is no reason why I shouldn't do that.
On that note, I think that what I propose is that maybe something that could come out of this is a toolkit with multiple contributors or whatever, creating a toolkit for normies, basically. And I think that part of the problem is that everybody kind of works in a silo and everybody's promoting their product. Well, we can do multiple things at one time or promote multiple products at one time, but from different people and different sources, and tell people. I think that again, right now, the climate is perfect for people and actually literally searching for things. Even over the last couple of days, banks have been going crazy. People have had their balances zeroed out, couldn't get access to their money. So right now they're searching for alternatives. It's a crazy world that we're in. It's crazy times that we're in. And I think it's the perfect time for adaptation. So maybe we could get together and create a toolkit for people and recommend best practices. And like you said, and for those of us who know, actually physically do what you did for your dad, do that for my brothers and my sisters and my cousins and whomever else. And then they get used to using these platforms to see how easy it is. The barrier to entry is that people just don't think that they can do it or wrap their head around it. But once you get in, it's actually not that difficult. Anybody have any final thoughts?
For anyone interested, I would suggest checking out the talk tomorrow about toolgate.me. You'll find it in the schedule.
Okay. Wonderful.
There's some tools out there. There's a gentleman that was on a panel today, Christopher Chalone. He has shadowranch.xyz, and it's just something he created to teach people the cypherpunk movement. It actually gives you questions and tests you on these things, and it allows you to learn and enjoy having fun, connecting and making things with the Solana blockchain. So I think that's a really cool tool. So I want to give it a shout out.
Okay, awesome. So what about questions and answers? Let's see what we have in the chat. Or Mike, do you want to join? You usually join at the end of the sessions.
That chat's booming. Hey, can I ask the question to everybody that I asked you guys earlier about having access to things?
Sure, please.
Okay, so I asked this question on our stream, and hello, welcome. Hi, nice to see you. Welcome. I love those glasses. Actually, I thought I came in here having that jazz. You got that razzle dazzle, bro. I like that.
It's my trademark, man.
I had this question. I asked this to people on stream, and I asked this to people randomly. With all the surveillance going on, all the technology, having all the data and information, everybody down to what you had for breakfast, down to what the thought process you had in choosing your shirt. If all this information and data was given to everybody in the world and you all had access to see what's going on in your neighborhood, if you had access to see what's going on like with celebrities, or maybe somebody did you wrong and you want to look into their life and see what's going on with them, if everybody had access to this, would you guys go take a look for yourselves? And I honestly want to hear some real questions. There's a lot of Karens out there. I've been in places where people are like, look at this person on Facebook, and they would not let up. They were just straight up like showing me their phone every 2 seconds. I'm like, cool it. It's stalkerish. You better stop. And it's like this, I'm sure this happens everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody had access to this, would you take a gander? Would you take
I think there's a lot of developers here, right? So like, I feel awkward sometimes when I look at a database and I can see information, right? And people don't think I can see that. Right. And there's so many, there must be other huge companies. I never worked at a big tech company, but I'm sure they can probably just scroll through the logs and just see. I'm not that technical personally, but most of this stuff is pretty much like just out there, man. Like,
it is out there. And that's the thing with these other VPN companies. They admit to looking at the data streams live. Like, we don't log, but they look at the data streams live to catch abuse complaints and things like this. So they do. If the sysadmin is bored, he's had a couple drinks, like, I'm gonna have a little peek. They do these things. I've seen people paste some shit to me. I'm like, what? Why would you paste that to me? Where did you get that information? Knock it off. So it do be like that.
So I get in arguments with my wife because she's Chinese and she's been programmed to think I have nothing to hide. But there's so many people that say this. I don't care. I even say Chinese government is reading your WeChat. She's, I don't care. I have nothing to hide. I'm like, you don't care? Everybody's reading your chat. Like, the government is reading your chat, and she doesn't care.
Maybe people will start caring when everyone can read their chat.
Yeah, I'm like, man, it's like they can just log in and see everything.
Maybe,
in here.
Yeah, maybe it should get to that point. Now it's just information asymmetry. It's like you said, it's effectively leaked, but it requires a lot of knowledge.
That's a very good point. So that's a hell of a good point. In in post-Soviet area, like in Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and some other countries, they used pretty similar tools in government authorities, like in police and the Federal Security Service and so on. And the thing is that it's so poorly written that someone else got access to it and downloaded all the data from it. So there is several websites and Telegram bots that you can search a person by their name and date of birth and get the information that no one should be able to access, like their medical conditions, all of them log there, like all of their cars, all their property, addresses, phone numbers, who they called, when they called, and stuff like that. And because of government were able to access these things and they had access to it, they ended up with everyone having access to the very same data. And that's what Aryan was just talking about. And there is a very good, I don't remember who exactly said it, but you cannot make keys for a door that will only work for good guys. The key is universal. It will work for everyone, regardless of who is using it. So the best option there is just not to create a key to open that door. And that's, again, about personal choices. If we fight against that and we use tools that simply eliminate the technical possibility of someone looking into our own data, then we will be ending up in a much better place.
Because even if you're not doing anything wrong, you never know what kind of nefarious reasons someone else looking at your information may have or may want it for.
Absolutely.
It could be to steal from you. It could be to stalk you. It could be for any kind of thing.
Retaliation, anything. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the dark web and stuff, with the stolen AI chats that people have, like for their mental health with these chat bots for whatever reason, these things are like going for $1,000 per person, like for the mental health discussion that they're having with these AIs. Like, it's actually that valuable. And these data brokers, they do want that data and they do sell that data. And the crazy thing is, they're making a lot of money off this data, whether it's stolen data, whether it was sold to them for pennies on the dime and stuff. Like, I've seen the prices for these things. I'm like, wait a second, who's actually buying this? Who's paying for this shit? And it really makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
And someone's blackmailing you with that later. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
like with the Discord ID hack that just happened and stuff, it's like Discord claims they didn't do that. Their third party had that happen. But who cares? At the end of the day, that's 70,000 people's IDs that are out there now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now somebody can go pretend to be us that uploaded the ID, and yeah, it's fucked up.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's impressive we still use IDs and passports as some kind of validation.
Yeah, I'm sure they're planning on something like chipping us in the brain or something like dogs, but I'm good on that too. No thanks.
Resist.
There's also the other one, like, if a cop can pull you over and open your trunk. It's not that much different with data, in my opinion, but a lot of people don't see it the same.
For strong, we at least need a probable cause, well, at least by the law. But with the data, they can do it straight ahead without any court order or cause.
With the data in the United States, they have it's like a really ambiguous, it's a wiretapping law. Like back in the day when we used rotary phones and you had to call and get an operator and stuff to, like, this is how they used to catch like the drug cartels and shit like that. They use this as a way to snoop in on your data transmissions and get that information. Like, a rotary phone law, some like case law ruled that you guys can now spy on everybody because of some bullshit from like the 1950s. It's like that. It really is like that.
Yeah, and with data, they don't even need to know what you have physically or look in your car because they can tell what you have just by scanning your data.
Yep, you're a part of the algorithm, boys and girls. And I'll tell you what, you're not just data points in some algorithm. You're actually human beings. So I just want you guys to know that you're valued.
Thank you. Okay, I think that unless anyone has any final thoughts, that's probably going to do it for us. Mike?
Yeah, I think this is our last panel for today. It'll be a little quick recap. I'll do it just to recap in the next session. And then, but yeah, tomorrow's the next day. We'll be networking too. But yeah, we're good. This was fun.
Okay.
Absolutely. It was fun. I love talking this stuff. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. You guys have a lovely day. See you next time.
The 6th Handshake Conference, HandyCon White, Building the Sovereign Internet, wouldn't be possible without the generous support of our sponsors, our platinum sponsors, Easy Domains, ShakeStation, Handshake Swap, our gold sponsors, USwap, our community sponsors, Handshake AU, Own the Dot, Namebase, GFAV IP Wallet, powered by Sky Include. Thank you for believing in a decentralized future and empowering this community. Get your free ticket now at 2026.handycon.xyz